Welcome to the ESOL weekly or bi-weekly news. I'm Amie Pedrosa.
And I'm Matthew Johnston. Let's get started with this week's top tips.
Here are some top tips.
Be dressed for success.
Be dressed for express.
Success.
Success. Be prepared. Make a plan to study every day. Find a quiet place to study. Find a quiet place to study every day. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Arg. Turn on your video so we can see your pet faces.
That was great. Now let's move on to the weekly pet update.
Weekly cat update.
This week on Weekly Cat Update, it's Ruby the Cat versus Mr. Squirrel. And Mr. Squirrel is coming in hot. He has the high ground. Well, a tree, that is. Ruby looks up. Will she pounce? What will she do? We go now to our very own reporter in the field, Amie Pedrosa.
You won today, Squirrel. But next time. We'll get you.
Now we go to Teacher Joan and her cat, Obi. Join us again next time for an exciting episode of
Weekly Cat Update.
Okay, now let's hear from our instructors in the field for the weather update. How's the weather out there?
The weather at Richland is very cold. It's brisk fall weather. I'm jumping up and down because it's freezing.
Thanks for that weather update, ladies. All right, now we have a special treat for you guys. A wonderful interview from Pam Kadakia. Let's hear what she dishes out about being an ESOL teacher.
Welcome to Instructor Interview.
Dun, 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 dun.
This week we have teacher Pam with us. Pam, do your students call you like Professor Pam or Teacher Pam?
I tell them to just call me Pam,
Okay.
just because I feel like, we're all the same age.
Probably the most important question on here. Are you a cat person or a dog person?
Well, I'm an animal person. But I do have a dog, and that's what I was looking for a minute ago. And Amie was laughing. This is my dog, Sammy. She's recently developed this new thing that she does where she moos at us. So she's gotten a lot more vocal in her old age of letting us know when she doesn't like something. But instead of, making normal dog noises, she moves like a cow. So she'll literally come up to us on the couch, and I'm sitting on her side of the couch, and she just looks at me and she goes, mm.
What is it like been teaching during the pandemic?
So earlier we were talking about how my favorite part of teaching is interacting with students. And so it's been a struggle because, one, I don't get to see my students. And I feel like the not seeing them in person, I have to consciously remind myself that it is another person, another human being with their real life and their real issues on the other end of the computer. Yeah, that's been a really big struggle, not being able to really get to know our students.
Pam, can you tell us some about the background picture that you have?
Oh, yes. So I put up this background picture because it is the mandap from my wedding. So I am married to an Indian American. And so part of the marriage ceremony is you have this mandap. Let me see if I can move out of the way so you can see it. And it is, here. And it's basically a structure that you sit under with the parents. And they perform the 3-hour wedding ceremony under it. You get to sit on nice chairs.
How are you and your partner dealing with each other during COVID?
Well, we're both alive. No, it's been really great. I think the pandemic has both exposed a lot. It's exposed a lot of things in society that needed to be exposed. We learned a lot about students and even employees who didn't have access to internet or certain resources. And now we know we really have to deal with this. So in the same way, I would say, if you're with someone and you guys had a strong relationship and foundation, then the pandemic probably strengthened it. And if there were cracks in your relationship, I would say that there's definitely been some heightening of those things. So yeah, it's been good so far. I've learned that I'm really grateful that I married someone who is also a friend, because every day just felt like we're just hanging out and being friends. It's also, but it hasn't been the best for our health though, because when you hang around with friends, you're eating all the time.
What have you struggled with the most during the pandemic?
Oh gosh, there's been definitely internal, personal, emotional struggles. So days where in the beginning, before all of this information came out from therapists and just people who are teaching you how to maintain your mental health, a lot of fatigue and feeling what is even going on, angry at people who weren't wearing masks, angry at people who weren't listening to what needed to be done in order for our country to get back to a stable place. And then came the dark period of, why do we even bother? Forget it. I give up on my life. So there was a couple months of that, which probably increased the unhealthiness, because rather than going to exercise and doing the things that you're supposed to do, you just kind of want to sit on the couch and zone out and be miserable.
So, kind of leading from that, what would be your worst fear or something that you would absolutely hate to happen while you're teaching?
When I first started teaching, when I was simply but a young lass in the classroom, I shared a classroom with an older teacher. She was telling me how one time she was writing on the board, and oh my gosh, she's like, yeah, one time I was just writing on the board and I really had to fart. And when you get older, you just don't have control over those things. So she like farted in front of her entire class.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So that's one of my biggest fears is farting in front of my class.
Next up is our, oh sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera. I was like looking at the time. Next up is our new holiday segment.
Okay, here with me today is Marianne, and she's going to share some about Halloween. So tell us how you celebrate Halloween each year.
So my son and I like to decorate the outside. He's in charge of putting all the scary webs and the ghosts. And then my husband, obviously, he's the one doing all the lights. For the inside, we like to decorate every single corner of the house because it's a cute, not too scary. And then for Halloween, and it depends on, how many events we have, but we like to put on our costumes and go trick-or-treating or trunk-or-treating. And then when we get back, we usually just stay outside and give candy to those who are still in the area. We like to bake scary cookies, and it's going to be like a crossover, but we also have an altar for Dia de Muertos. So we kind of just, give some of the candy to the altar.
So tell me some more about Day of the Dead and what you do to celebrate that.
Well, when I was living with my family, we usually did a very big thing where we would have an altar for everybody in the family who's not here, obviously. And then we would just make a lot of food and we decorated. But usually here in the States, I like to decorate either my office or here at the house. We have an altar for my dad and my cats that have been dead.
Can you compare for me the feeling of Day of the Dead compared to Halloween? Like, I feel like to me, Halloween is kind of scary but fun. It's very lighthearted, it seems like. Could you compare that with Day of the Dead?
Well, Halloween for us is kind of like a more fun holiday. Just like I said, because we get to wear costumes and feel like a child again. For Dia de Muertos, that's a little bit more, I would say, emotional, just because you are trying to reconnect with those who are no longer here.
So what are you going to dress up as this year, or and your family members as well?
Well, this year, James requested to be Harry Potter. So I didn't want to dress up as Hermione Granger because, she's unique. So I'm just a Gryffindor person.
For anybody listening, if you have pictures dressing up for Halloween, you can share your pictures, email them to me, and in next week's video, we will post the pictures of anybody who shares their Halloween outfit or costume. There's an Instagram hop. Amie, do you want to tell a little more about that?
So several instructors and staff from Richland College will be presenting different things like making sugar skulls, making piñatas, making face painting, and also Papel Picado that Marianne mentioned. So I will be making piñatas. So if you want to join, it's going to start at what time?
2 p.m. I think on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to start at 2 p.m. And then it's not a long event, but I think each segment is just 15 minutes. So come on over.
And then one more plug, Dallas College is hosting a spooky trot, I think is what they call it. It's like a competition or a race. I will put some more information in the link, and you can dress up as you do your walk, which will be a lot of fun. So on Halloween, you might see other people going down the jogging trail dressed up in a funny outfit. Well, thank you so much for meeting with us and telling us a little bit about your Halloween and Day of the Dead traditions. Thank you for joining the weekly
or bi-weekly
news.
If you would like to hear the complete interview of Miss Pam Kadakia, please check below for the link.
If you would like to join us and be part of these videos, you can send me a video or you can send me your ideas and we can create a video together. And my email is listed in the description below. See you next week.